Hey, g'day mates and garden friends, welcome to my side yard. I got an amazing little episode for you, so sit right back there and enjoy the show. Alright, truth be told, I'm not Australian, but I would love to have a cool accent. Anyhow, today I have a great episode. A few weeks back, actually probably a month or so back, I had taken some cuttings off of a totem pole cacti that it was growing for years at my auntie's house. It's a beautiful plant specimen, probably 7 feet tall. This is a great species. I believe it's native to Baja California and Mexico. It's amazing adaptation at surviving drought and going long durations without any irrigation. They actually do grow well here in Northern California. I think you get them outside. You may want to protect them if there was a hard freeze coming. But with that said, my aunt has had hers outside in a container up near her fence in her backyard for years, and I don't think she's ever put any frost protection over it, and it's doing quite well. With that said, you know, a deep freeze, you might want to protect them. But long story short, we cut them off from where these were growing up off the mother plant. We've spent several weeks letting these wounds heal up and dry over and callus over really hard. Actually, I probably could have planted these several weeks ago because they've calloused up pretty quickly, and they're kind of hard and woody, which is great. I have 3 of them here, so check this out. We got the little guy we're gonna do. We got little medium, right? I'm the little kid sister right here, and then big sis is right here. Look at this sucker. This may actually be the largest cutting, heaviest cutting that I've ever actually planted. I'm gonna in our next scene. I'm actually gonna bring out a scale. We'll weigh this thing right before we plant it, and then we're gonna plant it. So all I'm really gonna do, it's super easy. You guys can do this at home. Is I got a decent soil that drains really well, holds a little bit of moisture, but not too much. Actually, it's going to drain really well. And so we're going to utilize that with these. We're going to keep them protected for the next few weeks, somewhere where they kind of just get ambient light. Not a whole lot of hot, direct sun, because they don't have roots yet. Even though it's a sun-loving plant, we want to protect them a little bit until they form those roots. And then we can kind of maybe repot them into a larger pot, or even in the ground, and then get them off to a more permanent situation. We don't really need any cloning gel or anything like that. They're gonna root up pretty good. I'm probably just gonna bury them up, maybe 10 to 15% of that bottom, at least several inches moving up the bottom. So that way the plant will actually be stable in there. If you have trouble with this at home and your plants are going to fall over, put them somewhere where you can actually put some supports in the container, some bamboo stakes or whatnot, and that'll help. And you can tie it off with some vinyl ties. Some plant ties, and that'll help keep it stable and keep it from getting cut in. If you use like string or wire, you don't want to use that. So first, let me go get my scale. We're gonna weigh this sucker and see how heavy it is. Feel free to comment in the comment section below how heavy you think it might be. If not, let's go take a look. I tried weighing the thing on my other scale that's designed more for food and produce. It has a limit of 5 pounds, so it errored out. So I had to go get my human scale for weighing my chubby buns. And let's see, I'm not gonna support it too much because I don't want to give it an inaccurate reading. I'm just gonna keep it straight. Look at that, almost 9 pounds. This is a 9 pound cutting. So imagine taking a cutting at home of a succulent, and that weighs more than a small dog. Look at that, yeah, just about 9, almost 10 pounds. There we go, let's get this thing potted up. Now it's time for the fun part. We're about ready to plant up our totem pole cactus here. Its botanical name, and I probably say this slightly incorrectly, Pachycereus schottii monstrosus. And what's cool about this plant, this cactus, is that it doesn't have any spines. It's literally, I could rub my sweet little cheeks on it. Nothing. I take a nap with it sometimes. But it's smooth. That's what's so cool about this thing. And it's knobby and weird and freaky. They can get about 3 meters tall, so up to 12 feet. The mother plant this one was on is about 8 feet tall. So it's pretty dang cool plant. Time to plant it up. Like I said, we weighed this one up. This one's about 9 pounds. The medium one is about 4 pounds, and this little one is about 1 pound, which is kind of weird. The small one is a pound. So simple enough. After we cut them, you let that harden up and dry out because you don't want that rotting back and just keep rotting. So now that's all hard and woody and calloused up, we're good to go. Some folks will recommend when you cut it, make sure your blade is really clean. Other folks might recommend you do a quick alcohol wipe on that wound just to keep it clean. We didn't do any of that, and they're looking great. But that's just something that you can consider when you're doing yours at home. I've already got some really decent potting mix in here that is high quality and should definitely drain really well, but hold just enough moisture because these plants they don't want to get like being soggy, sopping soil. They really want to have good drainage, like most other cacti and succulents. So I'm actually just gonna nestle this one in here. If you look at it, I'm probably gonna bury this one probably about 3 to 4 inches, give or take, right in there. If you have to add a bit more soil, you can. Little shake, little vibration when you're planting and potting. Sometimes if you can mix the soil around, but sometimes just a little bit of vibration will flatten it all out really quick, and then you can just give it a quick press. Now, you don't need to squeeze the life out of it, but just kind of press it down, because we're going to water it here in a second anyways, and that'll bring the soil down again. Now eventually these are probably going to want to go in bigger containers, but for now I'm just going to have them in small containers just so we can get them rooted. Once I can tell that they're rooted and growing again, then we might upgrade them to a better pot, a new location. Heck, I might even give some away or sell some. We'll see. So this soil's so loose that I don't really need to dig a hole for it. Just going to pop it in there. Same thing. It's going down about that far or so, just enough. You want to have some space with some soil still on the bottom there, a few inches below that cut, just so it has something to actually root into, and eventually the roots will shoot out the side of the stem as well. Just takes a little while. Same thing, I'm going to shake it, press it down, put it aside, and then we'll water it. Now the big dog is going to be a little trickier just because it's so tall and so heavy. So let's take a peek here. Let me see if I can, woo-wee! You know what, I'm going to have to pull a little soil out, just to give myself a little more breathing room, because I actually have it about 3/4 of the way full. I want to be able to get this guy's so dang tall, and I'm probably going to have to put some supports in here just to hold them up, although I am going to set them against the side fence here where they're protected, so I don't want to put them out in full sun yet, even though it's still springtime and relatively cool. Things are going to get warmer and sunnier here pretty quick, and so they're just not quite ready for that. I want to try to have them get babied into it. So now I got this guy, same thing, buried several inches into the soil. This one probably I did a little bit deeper than the other ones, just because, as you can tell, it's a pretty massive specimen. And so now the trick is just get all this in here. If you want to use a small amount of like really mild starter fertilizer, you could, and I might add some here in the next couple weeks. But for right now, probably not the most pressing thing. I really just want to get him into some soil that can breathe with a bit of water, some moisture in there, and then let the plant do its part, do the rest of the work for us. And then as it starts to grow, then we'll get in there and get some more nutrition to it. I didn't use any hormones on it, like a rooting powder or anything like that. Didn't do any of that. Pretty simple. That's why we love growing cacti and succulents here. Actually, we love growing all the plants, but that's one of the benefits of growing them, is that it's just easy. It's just easy peasy. And this plant right here, whoever's growing it, people go, "Oh my God, you must be, like green thumb. You must be excellent at what you do." And yes, we are. And yes, you are. But you don't have to be. And but it really is a pretty cool plant. And so I highly suggest you track one down. Totem pole cacti, Pachycereus, schottii, monstrosus. All right. So I'm pretty much there, and I really appreciate you hanging with me for this. As you can see, I'm not even holding it up anymore. So I may not even need the supports, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna have it kind of protected here anyways. It's not gonna be out in the open. My dog's so little, he can't really get up here and hurt it. If you had a big dog in your area, like sometimes I babysit a big old dog, and I wouldn't want him running past this because he might snap it. So you'd want to protect it if you had big creatures or kids in the area. But other than that, it is a pretty dang cool plant. Here we go. The last thing we've got to do on our list, it's just water. After you transplant, it's always important to irrigate, especially with this dry soil. You kind of have to go nice and slow, pour some in, let it absorb, drain through, and then you can give it a bit more. Sometimes in the soil, you'll notice with potting soil is so dry that as you're watering for the first time, some of that soil kind of just voids the water and kind of floats to the surface, and then if you do too much, it'll kind of go away or outside the container, the top of the container. But for now, it's looking really good. As you can see, we're doing killer. We will have to come back and check on these because it's going to take several weeks or so to get them rooted. But we'll check back on them in the near future to finish this project out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did or learned anything or maybe have something to add, join us. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'd love to have you back for more adventures, and so we can all grow together, right? So from our garden viewers, happy gardening and best wishes. All right, this looks pretty good.